somewhat. We were trying to pinch ourselves to realize, yes, we were there. And maybe we were more thinking about where we were instead of what we were playing for. But we learned after that game, because after the game, he says, we will never lose another one. And you had to know that he meant it.
Yeah. It was an exceedingly close game.
Oh, yeah, it was 10-7 or 13-6.
17-13, yeah.
17-13, something like that. Yeah. I remember, because I see Chuck Bednarik, who played on that team at the time. He only lived a couple of miles from me, so I was going to have to live with him. It's part of life.
Well, you can show a few more rings than he can.
Well, yes, but I'll tell you, Chuck was a hell of one, because he's in the Hall of Fame too. He was playing in a, at that time I didn't think about it, but he was 36, I was 26. I mean, that's a lot of years.
Van Brocklin was the
Dutch, yeah.
Yeah,
he was a great quarterback, though. I mean, you talk about all the quarterbacks in National Football League, and Dutch was unusual because he would do what the hell he wanted to do, and he didn't care what anybody else cared. He did what his abilities allowed him to do.
It's interesting, in a time period, Bobby Lane would have probably fit that same category.
All the quarterbacks, Wyatt Tittle.
Yeah.
Wyatt Tittle was of the same role. Bobby Lane, they're all those rebel-type quarterbacks that's going to go out and look at you and beat you.
Yeah.
Knew they could beat you if they just get a few of the hits.
In the world to the championship.
Coached by Buck Shaw, the Eagles were led by quarterback Norm Van Brocklin, number 11. It was the Dutchman's imagination and kick-in-the-butt tirades that turned this group of losers into winners.
As cutting as he could be, he was a lot like all of our fathers probably should have been. Even some of the linemen that wanted to punch his lights out because of what he would say in the offensive huddle. By the end of the evening, after the game was over, they'd say, "Hey, Dutch, great job."
Van Brocklin's got it. Van Brocklin's going to throw. He throws into the corner. Oh, it's touchdown!
One time, they were going to send me out, and Dutch stepped back and said to Shaw, "Get him out of here." Well, my feelings were hurt at the time, but we did win the game.
There were 39 of us, and we really had no what you'd call really a big star except Norm Van Brocklin. Without number 11, I don't know what Tommy McDonald could have ever have been.
With Van Brocklin, the Eagles won 10 games and lost only 2. Victory never came easily. And it was even harder to win respect.
Each day when the game would be over, we'd meet the opponents in the middle of the field, and they'd say, "We wish the hell we could play you again." And we'd say, "Well, we'd like to, but we're too busy. We were on our way to the championship."
This trip produced many jarring collisions, but none matched the hit that 35-year-old Chuck Bednarik put on the Giants' Frank Gifford. The impact preserved an important victory and propelled the Eagles into the NFL championship.
What one game would stand out the 14 years that I played? I say December 26, 1960, the Green Bay Packer game. That one game of all the 280 games that I played will stick out in my mind forever.
Protecting a 17-13 lead, Chuck Bednarik's tackle on the game's final play became one of the greatest moments in the history of Philadelphia sports.
67,000 people standing. What an electrifying finish to a great season and a great game. Starr's up over the ball. This'll be it. Starr's back to throw. He takes time. He throws over the middle. It's caught at the 15. Running hard to the 7-yard line and down on the 7.
I could see the clock going 11, 10, and he's squirming and kind of, we're stalling for time. It was 2-1, and I looked down at him and told him, you can get up now, you blankety blank blank. This game is over.
The game's over. The game's over. The Eagles are the champions of the world. Listen.
The 13 lead. Chuck Bednarik's tackle on the game's final play became one of the greatest moments in the history of Philadelphia sports.
67,000 people standing. What an electrifying finish to a great season and a great game. Stars up over the ball. This will be it. Stars back to throw. He takes time. He throws over the middle. It's caught at the 15. Pulling hard to the 7-yard line. And down on the 7.
I could see the clock going 11 and 10, and he's squirming and kind of, we're stalling for time. It was 2-1, and I looked down at him and told him, you can get up now, you blankety blank blank. This game is over.
The game's over. The game's over. The Eagles are the champions of the world. Listen.
You remember the game, Jim?
Very well.
Hello, I'm Pete Rozelle, and I'm proud to present the 1960 National Football League Championship Game Film. I know that all of you who saw the game, either in person or on TV, are going to enjoy seeing it again, and I'm sure that those of you who did not see the game are in for a real sports thrill. My predecessor, the late Bert Bell, realized this some years ago, and with the fine cooperation of one of the National Football League's longtime friends, the series of championship game films was started. I refer, of course, to the folks at the Ballantine Brewery, the radio and television sponsors of the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants.
Thank you, Commissioner. Folks, I'm Chris Schenkel, your Ballantine sportscaster. This championship game film that we're about to see is another feature in Ballantine's famous three-ring sports program, which brings fans radio, television, and film coverage of their favorite sports. Right now, though, let's get to the film and watch the Pro Classic of 1960 between the Green Bay Packers and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Franklin Field in Philadelphia, one of the finest football stadiums in the country, is the World Championship struggle between the kingpins of the National Football League's Eastern Conference, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Green Bay Packers, rulers of the Western Conference. The fans, clutching their precious tickets, arrive early for this one, the most anxiously awaited game in professional football. As game time draws near, more than 70,000 onlookers provide a colorful background for the battle that only the National Football League could provide. Just 2 years ago, both the Eagles and the Packers were floundering in the cellars of their respective conferences. Today, the high-flying Eagles have a 10-2 record to show for the 1960 season. The Packers, after a blazing start, slumped badly at mid-season, but Coach Vince Lombardi lifted his charges in the final weeks. Bart Starr, who sparked the Packers in their late surge, will be at quarterback for the Western champions. Jim Taylor, one of the league's hardest runners, spearheads Green Bay's vaunted overland attack. The fabulous Dutchman Norm Van Brocklin earned the league's Most Valuable Player award for his role in the Eagles' flight to victory. Little Tommy McDonald is Van Brocklin's most explosive receiver. Tommy's brilliant speed and sure hands will pose a constant threat. Two of the league's best linemen, Jim Ringo, captain and center of the Packers, and Chuck Bednarik, Eagles captain, get together before the kickoff. Bednarik will play both ways. Having completed their pregame warm-up, the Green Bay Packers take the field for the 1960 Football Championship of the World. After receiving earth-shaking ovations from their loyal rooters, the Eagles are ready for a crack at the title. Bill Forrester, number 71, and Jim Ringo, number 51, represent the white-shirted Packers, while Chuck Bednarik, number 60, and Norm Van Brocklin speak for the Eagles. Philadelphia wins the toss and elects to receive. The Packers will defend the west goal to your left. 70,000 people rise to their feet as the Packers get set to kick off. Paul Hornung sends a low line drive to Tim Brown on the 2. Brown heads up the right side. Norm Masters drives Brown out of bounds on the Eagle 22. On first down, Van Brocklin throws a swing pass to Billy Barnes. Bill Quinlan intercepts, and it's first down, Green Bay at the Eagle 14. Jim Taylor finds daylight and romps through for 5 yards to the 9-yard line. 2 plays, net 3 yards, and on a 4th down and 2 situation, Taylor can't get started on the frozen turf, and the Eagles take over on their own 5-yard line. The Eagles try to ignite a drive on 3rd down. Van Brocklin gives to Dean on the draw play. Our slow-motion camera watches the Eagle rookie as he powers up the middle. A diving tackle by Ray Nitschke forces Dean to fumble. The ball bounces free for an instant. Bill Forrester dives, and the Packers recover the ball on the Eagle 22. Eager to make this second break pay off, Paul Hornung knifes over the left side for 5 yards. Our ground camera watches Taylor take a handoff from Bart Starr. Jim bangs for a first down at the Eagle 11. Paul Hornung watches Taylor take a handoff from Bart Starr. Jim bangs for a first down at the Eagle 11. Paul Hornung follows running guard Fred Thurston, number 63, around right end. But Chuck Bednarik crashes through to hold Hornung to a 3-yard gain. Lee sets the Packers back, and Paul Hornung attempts a field goal. Paul's boot soars through the blue. Referee Ron Gibbs signals that the placement is perfect, and the Packers from Green Bay have drawn first blood as they take an early 3-0 lead. Trying desperately to get his club started, Van Brocklin fires a bullet over the middle to Bobby Walston. The pass is incomplete.
Green Bay, and the Eagles are awarded the first down at their own 34. On the 3rd and 8 situation, Van Brocklin shoots a quick look-in pass to Walston.
Well, Jim, who are you up against there? Who's 83?
Bill Quinlan.
Bill Quinlan?
His own territory.
Bill Quinlan, yeah.
Norm gets off a short kick.
He's a good boy.
Carpenter on the Packers 16. Lou gets only 1 yard before he's snowed under by a host of Eagles. Bart Starr takes to the air. He backtracks and hits Derek Knoppel on a deep button hook pattern at the Packer 37. Jim Taylor takes the pitchback and tries to go outside.
He's a tough kid right here. He came up with me.
For no gain.
Taylor, yeah. He played in all the games in there.
Was incomplete, and Max McGee punts on 4th down.
He's a tough boy.
Gets a high one off his inside.
I know, I think he's LSU. I'm not sure.
Yeah, and goes out of bounds on the Eagle 17.
He wasn't that big either, you know.
I never knew that.
Eagle halfback Billy Barnes starts to his left, but then cuts back over the middle. Barnes is stopped by the Packer line after 3 yards. And Brocklin drops back in his pocket, but Dave Hanner forces him out. The Dutchman is backed hard by Henry Jordan. After Walton proves futile, and the Eagles are forced to punt. It's a good one. Let's watch Willie Wood as he waits for it. A buzzsaw tackle by John Wilcox cuts down Willie in his tracks.
That was funny. Van Brocklin was a punter. And then after after that, King Hill was a punter. To have a quarterback be the punter, you know what I mean?
Paul Hornung gets
Very
the ball
unusual.
to the draw play. Hornung hammers out 5 yards to the Packer 46. First and 10.
He was tough, too.
Hornung got a nice back there. Plus, didn't have a bad line in front of him either.
The first
Yeah.
quarter is coming to an end with the Western champions on the go.
They were hard runners, you know what I mean? They could.
The button hook for a first down in Eagle territory.
One guy didn't stop him from saying.
The Packers work the trap play to perfection. Taylor finds the hole and runs roughshod for a 13-yard pickup.
Is Lombardi there then?
First quarter ends with Green Bay leading 3-0
Lombardi
and
coaching
closing
Yeah.
on another score.
Yeah.
Bart Starr opens the second period by pitching a perfect.
It's either his first year or second year, I can't remember.
First down on the Eagle 15. The Eagles tighten their line when the Packers get close. Taylor hits hard, but he can only get a couple of yards this time. 3 straight incomplete passes give Paul Hornung another chance to swing his golden toe. Paul will kick from the 23-yard line. Paul's kick is high and true, and referee Ron Gibbs raises his arm. The Packers post a 6-0 lead with 20 minutes remaining in the second period.
Weren't they up front then? Right on the goal line?
Right on the goal, yeah.
Trying to get moving. Billy Barnes right over the middle for 5 yards. Bill Forrester and Dan Murray are in on the tackle.
Yeah, and they tore him down every time.
We go to our slow motion camera for the weirdest play of the day. Van Brocklin swing pass hits Packer end Willie Davis in the head. The ball bounces back to Van Brocklin. The Dutchman aims for Ted Dean, but his second try is too low for the Eagle rookie.
It was Ted Dean. He was a rookie. Hell of a back. He was really good.
Ted slips through the Packers for 7 to the Eagles 44. In third and 3 as Billy Barnes tries to turn the quarter at left end. Swing back Jeffy Whittington nearly cuts Barnes in half to drop Billy for a 2-yard loss. Again, the Eagles must kick. Van Brocklin takes his time as he aims his boots for the slippery right corner of the field. The ball hits on the 25 and is down on the 20 by Big John Wilcox.
Did you go off during the punts? Were you on the punt team as well?
Yeah, most of them.
Bart Starr drops back and
Came off from the kickoff too? Were you on that as well?
I was on the kickoff, most of the kickoffs, but I can't remember if I was on the punts on this here. More than likely it was because I was fast, you know.
Taylor, Maxie Bond and Tom Brookshire make a high and low tackle, and John Burroughs slips in to make sure. The Packers fall short, and Max McGee is back to kick. Max gets off a
Max McGee.
Ron Kramer down, and hits McDonald sliding across the middle. The Eagles speed Orson races to the Packer 39 before he's stopped by Hank Grimminger.
He was a tough little shit. Yeah, he was tough. He was a tough little kid, let me tell you.
Look for McDonald. Tommy's open on the 7. To take Van Brocklin's pass into the end zone for the first touchdown of the game.
The guy hit him after that play.
The Eagles go ahead 7.
15 yards.
It should have been. He should have penalized him on the kickoff.
But he regains his balance in time and takes the pass. Hank Grimminger falls off, and McDonald goes across with the touchdown. The quick striking power of the Eagles changes the complexion of the game. The Packers fail to move after the kickoff, and the Eagles take over on their own 26. Van Brocklin continues his long-range celebration. Pete Retzlaff is behind John Simax.
He's no bigger than you, Billy.
Pass. The play next 41 yards.
McDonald, he's no bigger than you. Yeah, he's no bigger than you were.
Before you got here, Van Brocklin flips the swing pass to Ted Dean.
Didn't do anything.
Ted makes a perfect cutback to help
He's really tough, this kid.
before he stops.
Taking your man down there so he can't bat that.
Jim, is this guy talking to you coming over here? Did you hit him?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Tell him that's as hard as you can hit. You better go back to school.
Two passes failed. Van flush to Billy
You
Barnes.
played the tough tackle. You played the backside tackle.
Guard tackle.
I was left, yeah.
Break up the play.
Yeah.
They're the boys who get the big money today.
Bobby Walston has the honor to kick us out.
Yeah.
The kick is perfect, and the Eagles hold.
They discovered him way too late. He always took on the pass rusher, you know what I mean? Because he's on the weak side, and those guys, they don't read nothing. They just come.
Watch as Beautiful blocking by the Packer lineman breaks Hornung loose up the middle. Hall gets 16 yards before Vaughn applies the stopper. And move in to get a close look at the power of Jim Taylor. Jim gets 4 yards before Bednarik applies a vice-like tackle to his head.
That kid for the Bills there, that Lynch, he reminds me of him. He reminds me of Taylor. His legs never stop. You know, he makes contact and he still gets 5 yards.
As the Packers race to beat the clock, our slow-motion camera watches Starr hit Hornung over the middle. Ball tries to get away, but Bobby Freeman makes the tackle on the Eagle 13. Ball shoot is wide by a 1-foot margin, and referee Ron Gibbs signals that the kick is not good. The first half ends with the Eagles ahead, 10-6.
We'll take it.
15 yards on the official for celebration.
Hey, can you folks hear? You've seen the first half. What was your principal goal at this point in the first half? Were you trying to keep Green Bay off the field? I mean, they were pretty explosive.
No, not really. We as far as they were concerned, we weren't even supposed to be on the field. See what I mean? It was supposedly not to be even a contest. I can't remember what the differential was, but we weren't supposed to be able to run on them or do anything, and we proved different.
Yeah.
So far, we're ahead right now, you know.
Did you get a sense that you were going to try to run on them, or was this a pass offense that you had instantly?
Not in most cases, no. We had good backs, but with Van Brocklin, you've got to pass. I mean, he's too good a passer, you know.
So
and Van had the intelligence to pick the defense apart, you know. He'd find the weaknesses right away, you know, which he taught Jurgensen. You know, Jurgensen became a very good quarterback because of him.
Did you find that, like the New England Saints, where it's sort of a 60-40 pass run, was Van Brocklin that type of percentages?
Oh yeah, we passed more than we ran.
Right.
We had very good backs, but it was just Van Brocklin, you know. And we had good with Tom and McDonald, and then the other one is Bobby Walston. We had Pete Retzlaff, who was an excellent receiver, you know. Type of guy, when he got the ball, it's pretty hard to get him down, especially Retzlaff. He was a former fullback. Yeah.
Well, now, who were you blocking most of the day?
Quinlan.
No Quinlan?
Yeah. I won't tell you his number, though. No, it's 83. I don't care. We won the game. I could care less.
Most of these people want to watch the second half to see what you actually do.
Yeah.
Give us a little flavor of Buck Shaw during halftime here. What was he saying? You're leading. Do you recall what he mentioned to you guys?
No, well, he would, you know, say, "Son of a buck, guys, we got to get out there now, and you're doing great. You're doing great. Just keep it up." He was never one to swear or anything like that. You know, he's a great guy, a great coach. But he was once we won, he was at his pinnacle. He wanted to retire. You know. He spent most of his career on the West Coast. He had, I can't remember, I think he was POC, College of the Pacific. Then he became 49ers coach. Then the Eagles.
Now, I know you had a chance. We spent some time one day with Jim Ringo, who was up in Finley Lake, and he was the captain of the Green Bay Packers. He was of the opinion, even 40 years after the fact, that they had the better team. Did you have a sense, even on the field, that although you won the game, that they were kind of what kind of quality team they were?
Oh, no, they were a quality team, but we had a better quarterback. We had at least as good backs, running backs, and naturally we had better offensive left tackles. Which is the prime position on the field, you know. The only thing was, I was making $8,000 a year, and now they're making $8 million.
Well, talk about, you know, as for being on the left side of the tackle, that's the blind side for Norm Van Brocklin. You must have felt a little more pressure there than J.D. Smith did on the right side, didn't you?
Well, if he got hit, I was ready to run off the field in most cases, you know.
Yeah.
But nobody ever really got through and got to him. Thank God. I would always, if I was going down, I'd always leg whip him, you know, that's what, knock their feet out from under the...
Because of you, they've eliminated him.
Possibly. Yeah.
Quinlan used an outside rush all the time?
Always. Well, you know, that one time where you saw him intercept the ball, that was definitely a differential in their defense. He took the outside. Linebacker came inside, and I cut the linebacker. But he was lucky enough to make the interception.
The middle linebacker for Green Bay was Nitschke.
Oh, yeah. A great friend, a great guy, great ball player. Yeah.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about what happened right immediately after the game, but let's do the second half now.
Packer workhorse Jim Taylor lugged the letter 15 times in the first half for a net of 60 yards. The Packers lead in statistics, but the Eagles are ahead on the scoreboard. Vince Lombardi's Packers return to the field and battle with blood in their eyes, while the game-and-hungry Eagles get together and hold their lead. It's first and 10 for Green Bay on their own 32. This is a filmed in color. They didn't digitize it or colorize it. This is original color. They found it.
It's amazing, see, because they gave us black and white.
Jim almost must have been the Eagles film. NFL. The rugged fullback after 16 yards. He's on the Eagle 34.
Luckily, huh?
Green Bay continues to roll as Hornung slashed off left tackle for 5 more yards.
Hornung was tough. He was built like more like a tackle than he was a halfback.
Brooks, number 40, holds Jim to heart. On third down, 2 to go from the Eagle 26.
How come Tommy Moore didn't play?
Wide right.
Yeah.
He did play, but he didn't do that much. That's all, you know.
The Packers are on edge as Hornung grimaces with pain. A pinched nerve in his shoulder will move the dangerous Hornung from the game. The yard to go on fourth down. Taylor blasts into the line. Bednarik is there again for the Eagles. He ranks up, holds on for dear life as do the other.
They had two great backs there, though, and Hornung and Taylor.
Brought in. Players around to see the measure. Eagle halfback Bobby Freeman jumps through Troy as referee Ron Gibbs signals first down for Philadelphia. And Brocklin wastes little time in dropping back and looking for McDonald. Van finds Tommy slanting through the Packer secondary. Jesse Winston saves a touchdown, but the Eagles have a first down on the Packer 40. Hard-working
Good safety, Carol.
out 7 yards to the Packer 33.
That's a traffic cop there.
That's off right tackle. More than enough for a first down at the Packer 27.
Everybody on the field, but there's nobody around.
Pass to Bobby Walsh. Our ground camera picks up Bobby. He picks up 25 yards to the 5-yard line.
Ravens are tight end, and he probably was about 6 foot tall, and maybe he was 185 pounds. Today, a tight end is big as a tackle.
Camera sees Van Brocklin fake the Dean and then roll out looking for McDonald.
was undoubtedly a running play.
Security, I would replay that.
It's supposed to be it was a play action pass, whatever it was.
Long yardage on fourth down.
Somebody got beat in there.
I don't know what the play was.
Somebody got beat in there.
I don't know what the play was.
Somebody got beat in there.
It was undoubtedly a running play.
Security, I would replay that.
It's supposed to be it was a play action pass, whatever it was.
Long yardage on fourth down. McGee is back to front for the Packers. And the Eagles 20 in.
The Giants did the same thing 2 weeks before.
35 yards before he came.
Well, what's his name did?
Eagles 45.
The kicker, the kicker for the Giants, he did the same thing. Our end is supposed to go in and not go downfield until he kicks the ball. Well, he'd go in 2 steps and then take off. Yeah. So as soon as he did it, he would follow him. He was following him down the field, and all the people were screaming at him, and he's right behind the defensive end.
Quarter opens. Tom Moore hits straight ahead. Then breaks outside.
We used to call it boxing.
Tom refuses to go down until he's gained 12 yards and the first down at the Eagle 22. Taylor rips through the middle for 4 yards. Bednarik leads the tacklers and is 2nd and 6 on the 18. Let's X-ray a Packer play in slow motion. Tom Moore follows Jerry Kramer, number 64, around left end. Watch Eagle linebacker Maxie Bond roll off Kramer's block and hit him.